Oh, thanks. Thanks, and I appreciate your support.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today. This is, we've been working hard at this for a number of years, and sometimes it's important to call time out and reflect on some of the hard work that helped get us to the place we are today, and that's what the purpose of this event is. And obviously to thank a lot of our partners, because we've received a great deal of help from our inception in 2006 to today. So I know a lot of you all know us and what we do here, but I wanted to reflect just a little bit on our history and our past, especially for the folks who may not know our story. Going back, I did my undergrad and graduate school at Virginia Tech, and I was part of a handful of hands-on competitive robotic teams with a lot of the TORCers here when they were students. And we would spend nights at the Wear Lab to the wee hours of the night, coding and wiring until 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, occasionally breaking things, fixing things really quickly, then traveling to different spots in the U.S., competing with other universities in developing autonomous robots. And one of the things that I realized early on was we had a fantastic group of students that had a winning attitude and a winning culture. And one of the competitions we went to was it was up in Detroit. I know we've got some partners from the Detroit area here today. And there were basically 3 different phases of the competition, and you could place first, second, or third. Well, that year we decided to bring 3 autonomous robots, and we did quite well. In fact, during the award ceremony, we placed first, second, third in the first competition, first, second, and third in the second competition, and first, second, and third in the third competition. And there were probably about 20 or 30 other universities there. So it kind of made these, award ceremony a little bit awkward because you were just sort of walking back and forth and back and forth. At that point, I knew we had something solid. And I walked into my advisor's office, Dr. Charlie Reinholtz, who many of you know. He's down at Embry-Riddle right now. And said, hey, Charlie, why don't we start off a company? Spin off a company. Because we had received some inquiries from industry and government saying, hey, can you guys sell us this technology? And that's not what the business of Virginia, that's not what Virginia Tech is really committed to. I mean, they're focused on research and development and education. And one of the lessons that I learned was, I made this split-second decision. And it's amazing how it's impacted my lives and the lives of other TORCers and also this community. But, we wouldn't have been able to pull that off without the support of Charlie Reinholtz and Al Wicks and Virginia Tech. And I think you'll hear in a few minutes, we're fortunate to have Dr. Tim Sands, talk about his vision of an entrepreneurial community and increasing the number of TORCs in this area. One of the things that we did after we founded the company was partnering. You're going to hear the word partner over and over again with Virginia Tech in the DARPA Urban Challenge. And so we had this side company that TORC, which was focused on commercialization, at Virginia Tech, which was focused on research and development. And we were fortunate to win about $1 million award from DARPA, and a lot of other teams won the same award. And we split it 50-50. And it's interesting because, at first, one could take the position that, Virginia Tech should get 90% or TORC should get 90%, but we split it down the middle. We saw it as an equal partnership because we knew this technology needed to go somewhere. We didn't want to see it die within the university. We wanted to capture that technology, capture the students, and commercialize it. Because there are a number of applications for autonomy in short term and long term. You're going to see some demonstrations today of autonomy in action. So I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Tim Sands, who has definitely made startups a priority at Virginia Tech. Tim has a very impressive bio. And I'm not going to read through it because it would take quite some time, but a couple interesting things. 250 publications, 20 patents. But one thing that Tim has left off of his bio, or failed to include in his bio, is that he's an experienced roboticist. Tim came in to Blacksburg, to Virginia Tech to TORC earlier this year. We brought a handful of autonomous vehicles and let him be hands-on. Asked a lot of great questions, not only how did TORC start, how do we grow? How do we continue to collaborate with the university? And I think that that's meshed well with his vision as creating an entrepreneurial community within Blacksburg. So please let me welcome Tim Sands.
Thanks, Michael. Experienced roboticist, really? Is that what it all takes? So, I think I needed to be down in the Ware lab for hours and hours and weekends and evenings to qualify, but thank you for saying that. Actually, it was one of the better introductory experiences I had at Virginia Tech because it opened my eyes. I forgot what month it was, but it was the better part of a year ago. I think we were out looking at some of TORC's work, and they did give me the controls, and I did get to watch some of the autonomous vehicles do their thing. And it really struck me as to the strength at Virginia Tech in this area, and also the partnership part, and everything you've done to build this company. The focus on winning teams and on recruiting is something we need to emulate in everything we do in terms of creating that ecosystem. And I wish we had 15 examples of this. We have one or two, but I think there are so much more we can do by following your lead. One thing I learned when I arrived at Virginia Tech is what the future might look like, especially with regard to autonomous systems. We made a big investment recently in neuroscience. We have a lot of work going on in biomimetics. We've got autonomous vehicles on the ground, in the air, undersea, and we're going to be looking going forward on bringing all those together and developing student programs that really take advantage of that strength. And your connection with Virginia Tech just shows a pathway to all of our students and our faculty as to how this is done. So I think this is going to be a great frontier for Virginia Tech. Also, I think the focus of TORC on not only robotics and autonomous vehicles, but on making hazardous places safer for humans is a great reflection on the PROSM, our motto, that I may serve. And I think your Virginia Tech alums who work with you, and I'm sure everybody has that in the forefront of their minds, that they're really doing something that is going to save lives, and it's going to make everything run better when we harness the strength of autonomous vehicles. And we're all a little scared of what that might mean, but we've got some human factors experts just down the way here. All these things coming together, it's really going to be exciting. So I'd like to congratulate Michael and TORC for this milestone. I don't know if you've seen the inside of the building, but it's quite spectacular. And I look forward to seeing where this is going to go, because I really think, even though this seems like almost a culminating event in a way, it's certainly the beginning of something big, not the end of the road. And I look forward to seeing what we can do to partner with TORC going forward to make sure that Virginia Tech continues to leverage your work and continues to grow along with you. So thank you, Michael, and thanks to all the TORCers out there. What a great group. If I were graduating right now and had earned the right to compete for a position here, I would be all on it. So thank you.
Tim, we have a number of open positions, so if you're ever in the market, just give me a ring.
A summer internship or something like that?
Absolutely. So, I was looking through some numbers in our collaboration with Virginia Tech, and since our inception, we've brought in about $10 million through the TORC Virginia Tech partnership. Most recently partnering in DARPA Robotics Challenge, and I think through that continued partnership, I think we're going to see a lot more research dollars being brought in between TORC and Virginia Tech. Hopefully a lot more top talent graduate students graduating, and hopefully coming and joining TORC, and increasing the value add, and not only to the community but also to our customers. So the first ingredient to our success, I think, is creating that startup friendly environment, and very appreciative of Virginia Tech and Tim for that continued focus. But after we started, we knew we were going to focus on one thing, and that's vehicles going from point A to point B. And we knew that we were not going to design vehicles because there are a lot of great companies out there, and we have several of them here today. We were going to partner with those organizations. So once again, partnership is very themed to core to what we do here. A couple of the partners, and I'll start with Caterpillar here. I know Jeff Griffith is here representing CAT, and Jeff, there you go. So Jeff was the first employee of Caterpillar's skid loader division and has been with them for a number of years and really grown that division. And we've actually got a demonstration that we're going to put on today. This is the first demonstration that we've done of a robotic skid loader, a product that Jeff envisioned and came to TORC and said, hey, can you help us out with this? We have customers who would like a robotic kit for our skid loaders, and we said, sure, we'd love to help you out. And so at the end of the year, we're going to provide this commercial robotic kit through the CAT dealer network to meet the needs of Jeff's and Caterpillar's customers. So this is where we cue the skid loader. And Scott is our operator on the way, so I can fill a little bit of time by rambling here. Some other work that we do with Caterpillar, and this has been going on for about 7 years, is we're a strategic partner in their autonomous haulage system program. So we've worked with them to provide technology to automate their mining trucks in open pit environments. So if you all have ever been beside a mining truck, they're several stories tall, they're about 200-300 tons, giant pieces of machinery. But that's the wave of the future for mining. Mining is a very dangerous environment, challenging environment, and mine sites are always looking at increasing safety and reducing operating costs. So, Scott, we're ready if you want to go ahead and give a demonstration. I think the first thing you guys are going to notice is there's no one in the cab at all. Scott is sitting down right now, operating the skid loader just as if he was inside the cab. So Caterpillar offers, and this is myself, a variety of different I think the key here is Caterpillar is very big on safety, and they've got an outstanding reputation for that. And Jeff and his group basically decided that while they are the leader in construction equipment and safety, good wasn't great. And they're always pushing the envelope, trying to incorporate safer technologies into their skid loader. And while some of their operators are operating in maybe dangerous environments, maybe handling hazardous material, this removes that operation. And clearly we want them to come home safe and kiss their spouses goodnight and tuck their children in. And we can also wave as well, so we have a lot of fun with some robotics here. Scott, thank you for the demonstration, and as I mentioned, Jeff's taking orders at the end of the day. Another partner that we have here is Critical Solutions International. They manufacture and produce a military vehicle called the Husky. They've delivered over 1,000 of these vehicles worldwide, and the purpose of these vehicles, and if you want to go ahead and cue the Husky, is to perform route clearance missions. So if you're not familiar with route clearance, basically in Iraq and Afghanistan, the bad guys are placing IEDs on the road, and they have technology that allows the warfighter to go and safely mitigate or neutralize those IEDs. So they have an incredibly safe product that's been involved in 7,000 different detonations. So detonations are those IEDs going off while someone is in the cab, with 0 fatalities, which is an incredible track record. But similar to Caterpillar, good isn't great. So they're very forward-thinking, and what they're doing now with TORC, and this is a product that we jointly provide to military forces, is an autonomy kit for the Husky. So now there's not anyone inside the cab, similar to the skid loader. The vehicle is driving autonomously, has some sensors on its underbelly to detect and neutralize IEDs, and the warfighter can be at a safe distance. The value here is, and I'm sure that we have a number of veterans in the audience, perhaps you have service members who are part of your family or friends. It's very important that we allow them to do their mission, bring them home safe so they can miss their spouses midnight and protect their children. So right now, no one operating this staying in the environment that someone's looking at their eyes when we drive. It's thinking about where it needs to go to avoid these obstacles. And the third component is controlling the actuation of the steering wheel, brake, and the throttle. So if you really think about it, when you drive a vehicle, we have taken software and programmed that software to do what you do with your eyes, what you do with your mind, and what you do with your limbs when driving. Pat Callahan's the CEO of CSI, and great organization, and we're looking forward to changing the world through autonomy and bringing the warfighter safely home. Pat is also taking orders for these. They're a little bit more expensive than the but, one of the things that we love about CSI is Pat was involved in one of the first detonations of the modern IED as he was an Army Ranger in Afghanistan and Iraq. So we were finding that we're very passionate about robotics. CSI is a fantastic partner. They're very passionate about helping the warfighter. We also have another partner here, Pratt Miller Engineering. They're based in Detroit, and looking for, where are the Q&D guys? Where's Lynn Bishop? Ah, there they are. I appreciate you guys making the trip here. They manufacture high-end performance vehicles for the automotive and defense market. And they are working on some incredibly cool things with us, and we have a lot of other automotive partners that we're working on some incredibly cool things that are going to change your life. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to talk about any of it, but it's so incredibly cool. So stay tuned, guys. There's great things coming. Second element of our ingredient to our success has been our partnerships. The third one has been infrastructure. And the building behind you would not be possible without the help of county and town folks. And I'd like to acknowledge those individuals right now. In the Montgomery County Board of Supervisors and Bill Brown, appreciate your help in getting the TORC facility up and running. This has been key because we have a lot of folks, big tech companies coming and visiting us, and we're able to execute the work that we need to execute in a timely fashion and have that professional appearance. The town of Blacksburg, council and staff, and the mayor's here, thank you for expediting permitting on this project to allow construction to be completed on time. And also the Virginia Small Business Financing Authority for providing the financial support for this facility, so thank you. We also have a representative of the governor's office, and we've had a lot of support from the governor. He's actually been down to visit us, and so has Maurice Jones, the Secretary of Commerce. And I'd like to introduce Mary Ray Carter. She was appointed the first Deputy Secretary of Commerce and Trade for rural Virginia last year, and was reappointed by Governor Terry McAuliffe as a special advisor for rural partnerships. Her goal is to work with organizations like TORC to ensure that they can continue to grow, be involved in policy and legislation such that we can continue to grow our organization within this area. So please give a warm applause to Mary Ray Carter.
Thank you, Michael. It was really funny. Today, when I drove up, I drove around to the side, and there were some gentlemen out in the field across the way. And I was looking at these vehicles that were going back and forth and around and so forth. And I looked at one, and I thought, is there anybody in that? So I looked at another one, and I thought, is there anybody in that? Well, I'm so busy looking at these that as I'm trying to come into the parking lot, I literally run over the sidewalk, the curb. Then I had to back out, come back in, back out, come back in. Finally, I thought to myself, I'm not leaving today, Michael, until you take care of my car like you did. So, congratulations on behalf of Governor McAuliffe and Secretary of Commerce and Trade, Maurice Jones. One thing that I would like to really emphasize is partnerships, as it has been emphasized. And when I met with Michael earlier, that's exactly what he talked about. And government is also into partnerships. And I want to thank everyone that has been involved in this. Montgomery County EDA, Town of Blacksburg, Montgomery County Board of Supervisors, Town Council. Thank you so much. Now, if you'll come up here, Michael, I've got something for you. Let's see. I'm going to need you to hold this. This is a flag of Virginia that has flown over the Capitol. Now, I have heard that the governor climbs up on the pole to get them down, but I'm not sure about that. But anyway, this is a gift from Governor McAuliffe and the citizens of Virginia to your company, and it's certainly a sign of the partnership we hope to have with you years to come. Thank you.
Mary Ray, thank you for the flag. We'll make sure we put that in our conference room. And before you leave, as far as retrofitting your vehicle, talk to Andrew Colhane. He'd be more than happy to take your money. And you know, the last ingredient has been our people, and this is the most important ingredient. And I'm in absolute awe of our team and our folks who have helped us tackle or make the impossible possible. They've been relentless. Every challenge that I've thrown our way, or our customers have thrown their way, they've stepped up to that challenge and met it. Even when I didn't know if we were going to meet it. But thank you, TORCers, for being there, committing the time, pushing each other, pushing me. This is a great accomplishment, and we have much more things to accomplish, because our mission is to remove and obsolete the steering wheel from our vehicles. We want the steering wheel to be a thing of the past, that our kids and our grandchildren, they don't know what a steering wheel is. They have to Google to figure out what a steering wheel is. They won't know what a driver's license is. When we talked about parallel parking and how difficult that was, they won't know what that is. They may not own a car. A random car may come and greet them wherever they're trying to disembark. So, I mean, we're on the cusp of something great that's going to change your life and my life, and make us old when we sit and talk to our kids and our grandchildren about what it was like a long time ago. So, right now, if you guys don't mind, let's bring the TORCers out. We're going to do a quick ribbon cutting right over here to my right. After we do the ribbon cutting, there's some great food in the back. And once again, I appreciate everyone coming out and celebrating this milestone event for us. Thank you.
Everybody in. Everybody in. Squeeze in, guys. Come on. There we go. All right. 1, 2, 3. All right, we'll try again. So lunch is served in the garage. Help yourself. Thanks, guys.